That Trump went up there to speak to the black journalists at the National Association of Black Journalists convention. And this was a 4-day event. They actually invited, it was originally supposed to be Trump and Biden up there together, but they invited Kamala once Biden pulled out, but I guess Kamala wasn't available or something. Now, my first impression is that Kamala should have completely cleared her schedule out and been at this event. First, the reason she should have been at this event is because this is the largest organization of black journalists in the country, probably in the world, right? They are some of your best supporters as a presidential candidate because, or as far as like when it comes to communicating with the black community, because a lot of them work for organizations that speak directly to us, or a lot of them work at organizations that use them to get messages directly to us, right? So I don't think this is an event that you should have missed as a presidential candidate if you were invited, and she was invited. So I think that she should have showed up. I think she would have had. I think it would have went better had she shown up. I don't think it would have went better for these journalists had she showed up, and I think she would have looked better serving him up on that stage. You understand? Because he pulled out of the debate, so that could have been her chance to debate him and make him look bad. You see what I'm saying? And this was a much looser format than a real debate would have been. So she could have talked straight with him. And I think he would have looked terrible if she was sitting across from him, right? So I think she missed an opportunity, but let me shout out the journalists that did show up and do it. And I'm actually glad, even though I didn't think they did a good job, specifically Rachel Scott, I didn't think they did like a great job, but I do support them for not backing out after so many people tried to pressure them into backing out. If you are a journalist in this country or in this world, you're supposed to be able to talk to anybody on any side, whether you have an opinion about them or not. You're supposed to be able to put it to the side and speak to that person and get whatever story out of them that you need to get out of them for the people. Because your duty is really to the story, not to your biases and prejudices, right? So I think that even though there was some like contentious moments up there, I do still applaud them for still doing it. Because people can say what they want. It was a NABJ convention. That crowd was full of black people that wanted to see that event. So why would they pull out when so many people want to see it? Did y'all see that? I watched the whole thing. There was people with their phones up recording the whole thing. There was people cheering. There was people like mad. There was all type of emotion in there. So I think that was an extremely important thing. I just think they dropped the ball and they missed the opportunity by not really making sure that they talk to them about things and policies that impact the black community. Let me read some of what y'all are saying right now because I see some people talking about it. Nia said, y'all, I'm voting third party. I am a far leftist, so you probably don't want to hear my thoughts. No, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear everybody's thoughts for sure. If you're a far leftist, I'm assuming that your issue is mainly with the war, with the war, what Israel is doing to Gaza and Palestine right now. I'm assuming that that's the way you lean. Which I mean, there's a lot of people that feel like that, so I got you. The last Rain said the last moments are definitely worth a second. Let me see. Rain said I'm voting for Kamala, and she have been at this event. She should have been there for sure. She missed her opportunity. Nia, oh yeah, I figured that's what you. Nia said I can't support Kamala based on what's happening in Palestine. Yeah, I see. I could tell that's where you're going with that. She was supposed to be there to debate. She hasn't. She doesn't have any policies yet. She doesn't have any policies for us as black people, but she has policies. Like she's talking about immigration and jobs and healthcare and stuff like that. But she doesn't have anything for us. He said, I'm not, Rain said, I'm not supporting Trump. Blanket immunity in Los Angeles is a no-go. K-Way said Trump was invited in 2016 and didn't take and didn't table the invite. His team reached out to them and said he would come because he knew Kamala wouldn't come because they asked her to come some months ago. Okay. This race is what is best for everyone. We are here to talk, speak your mind. I think they was too aggressive with him. Yeah, Zendar, I think that I don't think they were too aggressive with him. I think Rachel Scott from ABC. All right, so let me give y'all the names of the people who was there if y'all can't see it on the screen if you're listening to me. It was Rachel Scott from ABC News, Harris Faulkner from Fox News, and Kadia Goba from Semaphore. Now I wasn't familiar with Semaphore before like a few days ago or today or whatever, but I looked them up. They seem to be like an international news organization, and shout out to them for getting a representative up there on the stage. Now Rachel Scott didn't really get any real. She eventually got questions in, but hers mainly came from like emotion, and I don't think it played well. It didn't look good to me. I think Harris and Kadia asked good questions, and you ask normal questions. That when you get in front of somebody, you don't act like a Twitter troll. You know what I'm saying? Just like do your job, ask the questions, get the answers. If they're gonna look stupid, they're gonna look stupid on their own. Let them look stupid. Let Trump look stupid on his own. But you know what I'm saying? Do your job though. Your job is to get the answers for the people. On top of it, this is why I really feel like they dropped the ball. Why did they had a big fish on the line? This is what I call a big fish on the line, right? You got Trump coming into a black space where y'all get to grill him about anything you want. And y'all were an hour late. That stream was going for 51 minutes with the logo on the screen, or 50 plus minutes with the logo on the screen, and no interview happening. So this stream is an hour and 33 minutes long on an NABJ channel. Only 35 minutes of it is actual interview. The rest of it is them waiting to get to come out. That cannot happen. Like, come on, man. Like, and then I'm look like y'all know I do production. Production is my thing. So production, they didn't even have their logo on the video. So anybody could take y'all video and do anything they want with it. Y'all don't have any type of branding on it. Now, of course, you can't, because there was other media organizations there, so you can't even prove that it's yours. You wouldn't even know it was yours. Y'all don't even have your logo. So to be a journalist organization and to not have people on deck that are good with like audio visual is a bit strange. So they were late because their equipment wasn't working. A bit strange when you have a big fish on the line. I don't understand it, but I didn't get that. Now, Nia said, well, genocide is no good for anyone. K-Way said, you can't say she don't have policy for black people, then vote Republican when they say black people making excuses. No. Well, I'm not voting Republican. I'm saying that she don't have policy. She don't have like a black agenda, but that don't mean I'm going Trump. Like, I feel like she should just come with a black agenda. She won't hurt her chances of doing either. Ape said, I'm not supporting either. It's a sad day that these are our choices. Zendar says she not black. That's why she didn't go. That's funny. Reign Supreme said, wow, like I said, she missed her opportunity. The word aggressive grind my gears. She should have said hello and greeted him first. She was trolling instead of being a journalist. Yeah. She was definitely, she was going for the viral moment, but I don't think it went the way she thought it was going to go though. Because even the journal, like, first of all, a lot of people feel like Trump disrespected them, which he was definitely attacking back because he definitely was on the defensive. So he was attacking. But I don't see anybody on either side, like the black journalists or on the opposing side, that feels like those journalists did a good job. And right when Harris was about to ask about Project 2025, they cut him off. They had to leave. So I think whoever the audio visual people, they fumbled big time. They fumbled big time, man. And I think Rachel might have fumbled also a little bit. Anonymous Jeff said, where's the genocide? Rain said he was right and rude, but right nonetheless. Jeff said, you must be talking about Hamas killing kids. K-Way, I agree. They know they would be held at a higher standard, so why give them something to talk about? Who do you mean by they? They would be held at a higher standard. I don't think the journalists were being held at a higher standard, but I do think that the organization itself should have done many sound checks. To get a presidential candidate is so hard to do. Like, it's extremely difficult to do. Like me on my channel, I wish I could get a presidential candidate. I can't even get a mayor candidate at this point because I think they probably look at some of my content and feel like, he might be too much. But if I could get somebody running for mayor, that would be great. If I can get somebody running for governor, that would be amazing. But to get a presidential candidate, you need to check audio, video a million times before they get there. Don't wait till the day of to try to set this stuff up. This stuff needs to be fixed and working. And of course, you can't go into a venue and set up ahead of time. So you can't do it days before, but you can do it a couple hours before. That's what they make sound check for. You don't need Donald Trump to be there for sound check. You can have somebody test. So you know what this tells me? Somebody who works in the AV department that didn't want Trump there, they sabotaged it. That's essentially what happened because there's no way that they didn't test that to make sure that it was working. You got one of the biggest their YouTube channel for the NABJ has less subscribers than this YouTube channel that y'all are watching me on right now. As the biggest black journalist organization in the country, probably in the world, they are so behind. Like, why are y'all so behind? This is why people are moving on and watching podcasts instead of watching professional journalists. Right? This is why they're watching podcasts now instead of professional journalists because y'all refuse to keep up with the times. Y'all are doing things based on old rules, like let it go. People don't want to hear that no more, and y'all have to step it up. This is no good, man. Step it up. And like I said, I think the format was perfect. I think that y'all should have got into some of the policies. I do like the question that Kadia asked about police immunity and Sonia Massey being killed. I think that was a good question that could get some conversation going because police brutality is a big thing that we care about in our community. So I think that was a great question that she asked. And Trump was like making it seem like he didn't see it. I don't think his answer was bad. He said, I saw some things and I didn't like it. And he kind of cleared up. I don't know if people accept it as cleared up or not. He kind of cleared up that immunity wouldn't just be blanket for all police officers. This is what he was saying. It would be for people who are following the rules and make a mistake or whatever like that. Somebody that just goes in somebody's house and shoot them and then lie about them having water or throwing water on them. He trying to make it seem like people like this guy wouldn't get immunity. So we don't know, but I know what he said. K-Way said they could have played it smart and just asked questions about policy. He would go off script and they can get them questions in. He can't help himself. That's true. He probably wouldn't have stayed on, but at least they wouldn't have looked bad. The way it looks now is that, because I don't know if you really watched the whole thing, people were in that crowd clapping and cheering for Trump. I don't know if y'all realize this was a NABJ convention. Everybody there was black journalists. There was people in that crowd cheering and clapping for the stuff Trump was saying up there. So y'all job as journalists is to be as plain, not plain, but you don't want people to have like any strong emotions about you either way after the thing is over, right? You want people to feel something strongly about him. And if you are trying to like push the Democratic stuff, you want them to feel negatively about him. But you have to ask questions properly to make him leave with a negative impact. But you're a professional journalist, so you should know how to do that. Let's read here. This says, just a sample. Cali Ma, what that mean? Cali Ma Wild. Zendara said, I said it was too aggressive with him because they wouldn't let him answer what he said in the beginning wasn't wrong. Oh, you was talking about the audio video? They was held to a higher standard. Yeah, I think they sabotaged it. I don't think that stuff was really messed up. Rain said Kamala doesn't support Israel's leader, so she missed his visit. What did she say about the Palestinian people? Is Kamala saying it any other way is racist? That's why they do it. Yeah, Kamala. Come on, everyone. No, she has never identified as black until now. Reign Supreme, I agree. Reign Supreme said I agree. Now, this is one thing that I think a lot of people realize. When Trump said, yo, I knew her for a long time, like indirectly, and she always went as Indian. And then a lot of people are saying, yo, she been going as black for a long time. Here's these old videos. And I think this is a good revelation for a lot of people. Something that y'all are realizing probably now, which I don't know how you didn't notice before. There are people who act and identify one way when they're around black people, and they act and identify a completely different way when they're around white people. I don't know if y'all know that, but it's a fact. It's true. They put on an act. A lot of people put on an act when they're around black people because they feel like that's how they get black acceptance. It's like, let me fit in with them. You see some white people do it. Remember when Britney Spears, I think she wrote a book or something, and she was saying Justin Timberlake was running around with Genuine and he was trying to act black. So there's white people who do it. So y'all don't think there's black people that do it too, but some of these mixed people, especially when they're around us, it's hey y'all, power to the people. But then when they with their husband and their husband's family, y'all think they talking all that Kwanzaa, power to the people. I used to cook greens in the bathtub. You think they talking about that at that white family's house? Or you think they talking about something else? I mean, let's just be real here. We know that people do it. People do it. So that's why white people are saying, I never knew her. Y'all do know Donald Trump donated to her campaign when she was running for attorney general in California, right? That came out. He wrote a check for like a few $1,000s. He's letting y'all know, I was aware. I knew who she was. I knew who she was. They wasn't advertising her as a black woman to me. They was advertising her, and she introduced herself as an Indian woman. That's what he's saying. He's a white person though. But as us black people, we've been hearing her call herself black for years, right? So just keep that in mind. Like people like Donald Trump wouldn't have been watching The Breakfast Club in 2016 or nothing like that. So he didn't know that she said that she was black or whatever. He wouldn't have been watching her walk a red carpet with Montel Williams and nothing like that, playing black over here. He would have been seeing her at campaign donation events in California in 2011, 12 and all that. And she might have been identifying differently out there. So keep that in mind as to why people are so, this is why people feel so strongly about how she was identifying. It's probably because she was doing both. You understand what I'm saying? It's probably because when she was around one group of people, she was saying what they're saying she said. And when she was around this other group, she was saying this other stuff. Just keep that, you know what I mean? Keep that at the forefront of your frontal lobe. Okay. Nia said she did agree to meet with him days later because she had the pre-planned events. Zendar said, I could see that. Rain said she should have pulled up on him. Nia said, anonymous, perhaps you should do the necessary reading pertaining to the conflict that is not plagued with Western propaganda. Nia said, Rain, she did have a meeting with Netanyahu. Rain said, Kamala was definitely faking it to make it. And this is the cold part about it. A lot of black people do that. So Kamala shouldn't act like, yo, I never did that. Clearly you did. These people heard you tell them you was Indian. But it's fine because a lot of people do that. Like, it's not abnormal. I wouldn't do it personally. Like, I'm going to be black anywhere I go, and I'm going to talk the way I talk here like this. I don't curse at work, but the way I'm talking like this here is how I talk when I do my day job. I'm not changing how I act and how I talk because I never feel like I act out of pocket or out of character. I don't think I act ignorant when I'm around my black friends. I treat my black friends like they're worthy of me acting intelligent around them. Some people think like, oh, I'm around black people, I can be ignorant now. Oh, I'm around white people, I need to be intelligent now. I respect black people enough to be myself around them just like I would be myself around anybody else. You know what I'm saying? If you see me talking to black people, you might catch me talking about science, business, politics, engineering. I'm not going to get around white people and then all of a sudden, I want to talk about engineering now. When I'm around black people, I just want to talk about Nicki Minaj and Cardi B beefing. No. I talk about that too, but I'm saying I'm going to talk about the stuff I'm into no matter who I'm talking to. And I think a lot of people need to be more comfortable with that. But we're not going to act like there aren't a lot of people faking when they get around other groups of people. You see what I'm saying? There's people who, it's very common, they get around white people and then they all of a sudden now it's Oh yeah, my favorite singer is Avril Lavigne. And when they get around black people, it's like, yeah, no, my favorite singer. Oh yeah, Mary J is my girl. Like they do that. You see what I'm saying? My favorite rapper is Jay-Z no matter who I'm around. You understand? And I love battle rap. So let me read a couple more of these things here. I'm saying she's bad, but dude is worse. Road Dogg said, she said it was Deputy Brown that made Steele aware of the meeting, as maybe Steele asked him what took so long, and then Bumpus said she told Steele the details of the meeting. Okay, shout out to Bumpus, man. I don't know if I ever said anything that was like offensive to certain people. Like, did I ever offend Caleb Bumpus on my show? I could have, but I don't think I did, but I possibly could have. Did I ever offend any of the attorneys in the trial? Did I ever offend the prosecutors? Did I ever offend the judge? Like, I wonder if any of my videos ever came across them. They watched them and got offended by anything I said. I just try to give my opinion on it.